Holy shit, that zoom is bananas. Everybody is too nice. Please walk in my frame. Now I know that I said that I would be filming this intro with the Nikon CoolPix, but I recently got a Red Dragon cinema camera, so I couldn't help but shoot this intro on that. As you can tell, my production quality has gone up significantly with this intro. Just look at that highlight roll off. And it's not noise, I think they call it grain. It's digital film grain, I think is what they call it. Fuck. And you know, I've heard that you can judge a cinema camera's sensor based on how it reproduces certain colors like red and blue. As you can see, the reds over here are very deep and pronounced. For comparison, I have it next to the Sony a7 IV, a little cheap piece of garbage over here. It's probably like looking back in time. Basically over here, it's like we're making direct eye contact. I'm sure it's just so crisp. We're at 1080p, which is the highest quality I know of to shoot videos in. This is the video from the Nikon CoolPix S9500. There are no manual controls in video either. It's a bit interesting, there's no white balance control, so I'm just trusting that it'll not wander around at all. I did take the Nikon CoolPix out for a little bit of afternoon street in Denver. It was a nice sunny day, which is really the only time I would ever even consider taking that camera out for something like street. Since there are no manual controls whatsoever, you really have to rely on the camera to pick everything for you. But honestly, exposure-wise, everything looked fine. The problem I had was motion blur and noise, obviously. It would just pick the wrong settings for the situation that I wanted to capture, and really there's no way to communicate to the camera what type of photo you're trying to take. Anyway, we're gonna jump into the video. Don't forget to keep an eye open for the pug hidden somewhere in this video, because if you're the first person to correctly post the timestamp where it's at, I will shave Malcolm, and I'll make you a nice pair of Christmas slippers. Let's get into the video. I may have undersold how difficult this was. It wasn't quite on par with the baby camera, but it was not easy using this camera when you're used to using a modern mirrorless. So we start here with just some warm-up shots, some awful warm-up shots. And it sort of felt like the whole day was just warm-up shots, though there was actually some decent images a little bit later on. Holy shit, that zoom is bananas. So I filmed this the other day, and now that I'm home and I've had a chance to look through the footage and begin editing it, I can indeed confirm that my past suspicions are true and that zoom is indeed bananas. So as I said, the warm-up period was a bit longer feeling than usual. This camera was very hard to get used to. The shutter lag was just absolutely reprehensible. I realize that this camera's not exactly meant for this kind of stuff. The shutter is really mushy, and you really have to like kind of push it down hard to get the timing right, because it just feels very slow and behind what your finger wants. Which is just a whole bunch of different ways of saying that it's old. I think it's important to mention that I'm not just being negative because I'm a little baby turd who's used to nice cameras. I'm just very dramatic because I'm a little bitch. I guess those are a little bit conflicting, but I just want to mention that if you only had this camera, you would probably be fine. It's not a jack of all trades, that's not really what it's meant for, but if you watch this channel, you would probably know that I'm a bit dramatic in all of my own photography, and I think it's important not to take it too seriously. It's got subject tracking and face priority. I don't know if I want to trust it though, to be honest. I think I'm just going to do a manual point. Just like that. So this was the first spot that I actually kind of started to get excited about. The photos didn't really turn out that bad. It was really just the timing was the issue, but with these high contrast scenes, I tend to, like I said, push the contrast in post anyway, so the fact that I was shooting JPEG really wasn't all that consequential. And it was at this point that I started to become a master of the timing with this point and shoot. God damn it, camera. Or wait, not master, beginner. This was a pretty decent capture. He was blowing his nose, which is not exactly easy to find somebody doing. He was in shadow though, so unfortunately this camera just doesn't know how to choose the right settings. It pretty much never just boosts only ISO in these situations. It tries to compensate with both ISO and shutter speed, and that usually results in the shutter speed just being too slow. I saw this guy's awesome hoodie, so I ran back over to this spot, and unfortunately I totally screwed it up. He had great clothes on. This is a nice, clean spot, but I just did not get the right gate. It's an okay photo, but I wish it was better. Everybody is too nice. Please walk in my frame. A little bit of a history lesson in biopsychology. We have the American flag, the Ukrainian flag, and then some sort of made-up flag in the middle. I kind of felt bad for these ones because she was crying, but at the same time, I'm just a tourist, man. Like, I'm just walking around with my point and shoot. I'm just seeing what's in the city. This is one of those situations where it just picked the absolute wrong settings. I think it shot this one at like f6.3 or something. I'm not sure what the maximum aperture of this lens is, but I know it's more than that because there was photos that were wider open. I don't understand why it wouldn't first want to compensate with aperture, especially because with such a small sensor, it really doesn't matter how wide the aperture is. You're not going to get shallow depth of field no matter what you do. Yep, there we go again. I'm starting to have some flashbacks to the baby camera. I mean, the image quality is atrocious on the baby camera, but it handled a lot of these scenes just as well as this thing did. Starting to kind of understand what I need to do with this camera though, I had to just completely stop and stand there as if I was shooting the photo at nighttime, and just pray that my subject didn't move too much. I actually really like this one. This guy was incredibly orange. think if there are YouTube photography awards, this one would win smelliest photo of the year. I don't know what it is about seeing shadows of streetlights on corners of these kind of white, marbly granite buildings, but it always comes out looking so soft, especially after applying one of my presets to it. For some reason, I just really love the way these look. I don't, not anymore, man. Hey, kinda. Yeah. I'm playing with a point and shoot today. What are you guys shooting on?
I got GoPro too.
Nice, man.
Nikon. GoPro. You make videos too?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine, man. Me too.
I'll search on my other
account. Mine's Ayarton Kaleo. A-Y-R-T-O-N.
A-Y-R-T-O-n?
Yeah.
Dude, nice. Fuck yeah.
What's your channel?
Kerry West.
Kerry West?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's fine. Hey, I'm Ayarton.
Cool, Kerry. Nice to meet you, man. I'll probably see you around. Yeah, you too, man. This is another building that it just always looks beautiful when the light hits it. It's this big brown palace place, and just the brickwork and the color of the building just looks exceptional to me for some reason. This guy obviously caught my eye wearing pretty much all white, and unfortunately I didn't get out in front of him, but still, this photo just makes him look like he's glowing from all sides. I'm not sure how he pulled that off. Well, that's the last one. I had to get home to my grumpy little baby pug. If you would like to see another video very similar to this one where I took my plastic baby camera out and its horrifying and shocking image quality, then go ahead and click the screen right here to check that one out. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.